Hello everyone, this is Palak Vadaria from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology from Department of Electronics and Communication. Today we will discuss the subject that is Python programming, and in this subject we will discuss our unit number 1, that is Introduction, Data Types and Operators. Now our today's topic is Introduction, Installation and Working with the Python. Okay, so let's start our today's session. So first we will discuss what is Python. So the Python is a general purpose high level programming language. It is used to develop the application just like the console. Console, that means whatever the programming that you are doing in the C, same kind of the programming that you can do with help of the Python. Then yes, we can make some desktop application with help of the Python. Just like the calculator. Calculator is the best example for the desktop application. Then we can make some web application. Python is very popular to design any website. So we can design any website with help of the Python. Then mobile application. Yes, you can develop the mobile application with help of the Python. But in a mobile application, Python is not much more popular than other applications. Then machine learning. We can use the Python language in the machine learning. Machine learning, that means you have to train your machine with help of some testing data, and then first of all you have to learn your machine, and then you can test with help of your data set. So whenever you want to write any code in a machine learning, you can use the language, that is what, it's a Python. Now next is what is IoT. We know very well IoT is what is Internet over Things. Now you want to develop any application, or if you want to do any project based on the IoT, then you can do your coding in a Python. Now next we will discuss the different features of the Python. It's easy to learn. Right, the Python codes are not much more complex. That's why we can say that the Python is what? It's easy to learn. Then easy to read. Here in a Python, after every sentence, what we have to do? We have to provide the proper indentation. So whenever we are just going to read the code, it is very it's a readable. You can see that, okay, this is inside the if loop, this is inside the for loop. That you can easily identify with help of the what? It's an indentation. That means what? You have to provide a particular space. That we will discuss later when we will do the programming. So here just you remember, this is what? It's easy to read. Then a broad standard library. The Python having a very broad library. For example, if you want to do some programming with a date and time, you can import that library. If I want to do some mathematical calculations, suppose if I want to find out the factorial, so no need to write down the code for the factorial separately. You just import the math library. Inside the math already you have a predefined function, that is fact. You just use that predefined function. So likewise, there are the many more libraries that is available in a Python. Then interactive mode. Then it's a portable. Python is what? We can say it's a portable language. And then it's a database. There is a huge database. Then GUI programming. You can also do the GUI programming with help of the Python. Now easy to maintain. You can save and you can keep your Python code, it's easy to maintain. Now next we will discuss, that is Python program. A Python program, something called a script, is a sequence of definitions and commands. This definition are evaluated and commands are executed by the Python interpreter. It's something that is called as a shell, where you can execute your code. And typically a new shell is created whenever the execution of a program begins. Every time when you are writing a new program, new shell will be created when you are going to execute that code. In the most cases, a window is associated with the shell. Now next we will discuss, that is what is a command. A command, often called a statement, instruct an interpreter to do something. For example, if I want to print something, then I have to use the command, that is what print. If I want to check something, like if it is true or false, then I'll use the command, that is if command. So for example, the statement print Yankee rule instruct the interpreter output string that you have to print this particular string. Now next we will discuss the basic elements of the Python, that is objects, expressions, and then numerical types. That is what it's an integer, float, like that. And then how you can assign the value, how you can take the different variable, and suppose if you want to assign the values, that is what it's a variable and its assignments. And then IDLE, that is what it's a one kind of the environment, integrated environment, where you can write your Python code. For example, you can use the PyCharm to write the Python code and where you can execute it. Suppose if someone want to use Anaconda, that is also one IDLE. So it is not necessary that you have to use this software or you have to use this only to execute the Python program. There are the different IDLE that is available. So you can use any of one. Now next is what? It's a standard data types. So Python has a 5 standard data types: numbers, string, list, tuple, and dictionary. So one by one we will see in detail how we can use this data type. So the first is what? Is a numbers. So Python supports the 4 different numerical type. One is the integer. You know that what is the integer? Then a long, that is a long integer. They can replace in a octal, or we can say it's a hexadecimal. Now you know this very well: binary, octal, hexadecimal. Now float. For example, 1.2, 5.5, somewhere you want to assign the value like this. At that time you have to use this plotting. And then complex number, where you have some real part and some imaginary part. Right, sometimes it may happen. Suppose value of a is what? Is a 1 plus 2j, 1 plus 3j. At that time we will use this complex numbers. Now next is we will discuss the Python string. First we will learn this all theoretical concept and then I'll show you how you can implement practically. Now in a Python string, see the string in a Python are identified as a continuous state of the character represented by the quotation mark. Okay, that you can show with the help of the single quote, or we can say the double quotation mark. Now the subset of the string can be taken using the slice operator with the indexing starting at the 0, that is the beginning. So the first index of the string that is marked as a 0 and the last index that is marked as a -1. This we will see in detail when I'll practically I'll use the one string and then we'll just make the slicing of the string. And then we can use the plus and what you can say asterisk, that is what? For that multiplication. Okay, suppose if you want to add 2 strings, then you can use the operator plus. If you want to multiply, then you can use the asterisk sign. Now next is what? It's a Python list. A list contains the items separated by the commas and enclosed with this square bracket. So whenever you want to define any list, at that time you have to use the square bracket. Now some extent the list are similar array in the C. You know C very well, language C. So in a C, the way you are just going to introduce the arrays, the same here it's what? It's your list. Now the one difference between them is that all the item belong to list can be different data type. It is not necessary that whenever you are using the list, you have to use the same data set. You can use the number and string together in a one list. It is, you can define the integer and float, that is also in a one list. Now the value stored in the list can be accessed using the slice operator, same as the string. Okay, that is what? It's a square bracket, or we can say the colon. We can do the slicing with help of the colon. With indexing starting at the 0 in the beginning of the list and working their way at the end. That is what? It's a -1. This concept is the same as the string. Here also you can use the plus sign to add to particular list, or you can use the multiply sign to multiplied to particular list. Now next is what is a tuples. A tuple is another sequence of the data type that is similar to the list. But the tuple consists of the number of values separated by the commas. Unlike the list, however, the tuples are enclosed with the parentheses. See, for the list, we have to use the square bracket. But for the tuples, what we have to do? We have to use the round brackets. And the major difference between the list and tuple is what? The tuples is not mutable. That is, this is only the read-only list. You cannot change any value of the tuples. For example, if you define tuple 1 that equal to ABC, comma 1, 2, 3, comma 4, 5, 6 like that. Now if I want to change the first element from ABC to XYZ, but that is not possible with help of the tuple. But yes, you can do it in a list. Now last is what is a Python dictionary. The Python dictionaries are kind of the hash table type. The dictionary key can be almost any Python type, but it's usually the number or string. The values, the other end can be arbitrary Python object. Now dictionary, for dictionary you have to use the curly bracket, and the values can be assigned and accessed using the square bracket. In a Python you have some keys and you have some values. So you can make your own dictionary, and then whenever you require you can use that dictionary. Suppose if you want to use some keys, then you can use only the keys, and suppose if you want to use the values, then you can use only the values. Now this is all about the theoretical concept. Now practically we will see how we can use it. Now here, see, this is what it is, my Python 3.9.0. Now as I said, for example, if I want to assign some value in a variable, then what I can write, that is a equal to 10. So if I use print command, print a, then definitely here it will print the value a. So this is known as an assignment. Okay, how you can assign the value? For example, if I want to assign 10.2, then here print a. That is what, now it's a 10.2. Now how you can do the multiple assignment? Then for example, a equal to b, that equal to 20. So now if I use print a, then answer is 20. And if I use print b, then after the answer is what, 20. So this is known as a what? As a multiple assignment. Now next I want to show you that is about the string. For example, here I am just taking any variable, for example a, and I am just defining the string, that is LJIT. And if you remember, then I said you can define your string with help of the double quotation mark as well as single quotation mark. Now if I say now print a, then why it's give me error? Because I use the capital P. Here I have to use what? Small p, print a, that is LJIT. And for example, if I use the single quotation mark, then after if I print it, it will give me the same result. Now if I say B equal to EC department. Okay. Now here if I say print A plus B, then what is the answer here? Here again I'll use the capital P. I have to use the small p. That is, see here, LJIT EC department, because we are going to add this to particular string. Now I'll show you how you can use the multiple operation. That is A multiplied by 2. That means I want LJIT 2 times. And then see, plus I want the space. Here if you see LJIT, then EC, these two are together, but I want the space between LJIT and EC. So here just I am defining this as a space, and then I am writing my B as it is. Now if I run this, see, LJIT, that is 2 times. After that, yes, I use the space. That's why it's a space, and then we have a EC department. Now this is all about the operator, that is what? Plus and multiply. Now the next is what? Next thing that I want to show you, that is what is slicing. We know that A equal to print A. That is what? LJIET. Now if I use print, that is A index 0, that gives me only the L, because the index of the L is 0, J is 1, I is 2, E is 3 and T is 4. But if I want to start with the last, then the index of T will be -1. Let me show this. If I use print A -1, then that should give me what? It's a last letter. That is what? It's a T. And if I want to use the forward numbering, forward indexing, then the index of the T is what? If L is 0, G is 1, then 2, then 3 and 4. Then after I'll get the same answer like T. Now here, for example, if I write print, that is A, then I want the first start with the 0 and then I don't know the last indexing number. So I'll use this simple column. This will give me what? The whole index. Okay. And if I use print, then A, I don't know the starting. Okay. But I know that is what? It's a 4 last index number. Then if I execute this, then after, see, it will not consider the fourth one. Okay. It will give you from 0, 1, 2 and 3. It is not consider what is a fourth one. If I want complete LJIT, then I have to use print A, then here this and then 5 like this. This will give me the complete LJIT. So this is all about what is a string. Now next we will have to discuss, that is what is a list. Now if I say A equal to, I just define, we have to define the list with this square bracket. And here I'll say 1, comma A, comma 1, comma 2, comma, for example, I'm just defining the string inside it, then 10.2 like this. Now, this is, if I say print A, so this will give me this complete list. Now here also you can print like this, print, then here I want A of 0. So this instruction will give me what? It's a 1, because the index of 1 is 0, index of 2 is 1, like that. Here also you can do the reverse indexing. Now if I say B equal to 4, 5, 6, simple, I want to use only one number. And if I write print A plus B, then here see, it will add A and B together. Okay, A plus B. So this is way here also you can use what? Plus and multiply option. Now the same thing, if I want to define in a tuple, then only the one difference, that is what? Instead of the square bracket, I have to use this round bracket. And if I say print A, it gives me the same result. Now, the next is that I want to show the basic difference between what? Tuple and list. That is what? Here, in a list, see, I am saying A equal to what? It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like this. Here I am saying print. Okay, now if I want to change, that is A of 0, 1, 2, 3, 2, 7, 8, 9. And then here if I use print A, that is give me, instead of 1, 2, 3, now I have a what? It's a 7, 8, 9. So you can change the element of the list. But the same thing I'll show you in a tuple. Same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now here if I write A of 0, that equal to what? 7, 8, 9. Then it will give me the error. Why it's an error? Because it's a tuple. Same error we are getting earlier because we just tuple is what is just only the readable list, read only list. Okay, you cannot change the element of the tuples. Now the last data type, that is what is a dictionary. I'm using the keyword that is dict. You can use any variable. If you want to define that as a, then after it is all. First of all, I'm just defining the empty dictionary. Now one by one I will add the values inside the dictionary. Now here if I use that is date, then single comma, or you can use the double quotation mark, that is Sam, and the value of this keyword is what is a 5. So what will happen? It is add this dict. If I use the dict, that is what is the same and 5. And if I say print dict, then after I'll get the same values. Okay, you can write down dict as it is, or you can use the command that is print. Now if I want to add one more value, then I'll say dictionary. In this I want another thing, that is what is a branch. And we know that the branch is what? It's a EC. Like this. And now if I see the tick, then it give me the two value, that is Sam and 5. Okay, as I said here, if I say print, and here I am using the one, my variable, that is dict, and I want only what is the keys of this dictionary, then I have to use keys and like this. That is what? Print keys. And then we will see the output like this. It will give me only the key, that is what Sam and branch. Now if I want only the values, then what I'll do, that is my variable dict, then comma values, right? So it gives me only the values of that particular dictionary, that is 5 and EC. See, this is all about the string, dictionary and tuple. The main difference between a string, main difference between the tuple and list is what? List is where you can change the item inside the list, but in a tuple is what? Is only the read-only list. And when you want some keys and values, at that time you have to use the dictionary. So I hope this session is clear. Thank you.